And I remember that during the war, we were in our village as a very small boy. I used to go with the elders to the stream. Hello, good day, friends. This is the second episode of my story, as we have started the last time, and I want to backtrack to let us know that I am from Oba, in Idemili South local government area of Anambra State, and I remember that during the war, we were in our village as a very small boy. I used to go with the elders to the stream, and that is the Idemili River. In that stream, in Idemili River, there's a small place where little children go to play around and swim. And then there's this other side that is supposed to be the deep end, where adults that know how to swim go to. And I remember vividly how I left the children's section and I went to sneak out to the adult section. Usually I would go with my older cousins. And then I started swimming in that big section, not knowing that it had current, that the water was moving at one direction. And before I knew it, the current of the water carried me along, and I began to struggle. I was still on the surface of the water, and I was struggling, but God helped me that it carried me towards the shore, and then I grabbed some shrubs, that as I would grab it, it would pull out and move me further down the river. And so I struggled to get out from the muddy foundation of the water, if I may call it that. And then I sneaked back to the children's section like nothing happened. And it took me time to realize that I could have actually died from that experience. The current of that water was quite fierce. But it made me to begin to respect water more than I ordinarily would as a small child. Thereafter, after the war, when we got back to Enugu, one began to go to sports club in Enugu to swim, and did quite well swimming. And we would go, sometimes we would sneak out from school to go swim. Sometimes we would go to Metro. Metro was a cinema place. We go to watch movies. And usually it's Indian movies that we would watch. And did quite some crazy things. Race cars at Bisala Road. For those of us that are familiar with Enugu, we'll drive from one end of Bisala and then start spinning the vehicle. The vehicle will be spinning severally, and at the end of each exercise, we would score one another, who came first, second, and all that. Usually, I would also sometimes take my father's vehicle and go out to a party, and then come back quite early in the morning. I remember on one of those escapades, I would dress my bed as if somebody is lying there, put pillows and cover it with a comforter. And as I was coming back about 4 a.m., I would sneak back into the house through the living room And as I was, you know, these big fluorescent lights, as I turned it on in the living room, my father jumped. I didn't know he was sitting there waiting for me. As I wanted to run back out, he said, no, just give me my key. And I gave him back his car keys, and then he went to his room. I went to my own room. Normally he would call my mom to talk to me, and because he was beginning to feel that I was getting too heady. And I would, in the next episode, I will continue as the story of my childhood. Thank you. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know that I can relate to that river escape part. I nearly drowned in a real river, River Niger. Henry escaped from Idemili River. But you see that childish, inquisitive, adventurous spirit. What elders are doing, you think you can do it? He nearly lost his life. And this is how generally young people play with life. Play with your life. Play games with your life. Invest your life in things that will produce no positive result at all. He could easily have died. Look at that spirit led Henry into what could have been a head-on collision with his father. But more of the story is coming. My advice to you parents: if a child is going to the river, you hand him over to an adult. Keep an eye on this boy for me. But he went to the river. Nobody told him. Nobody was watching him. Nobody was keeping an eye on him. And the child had to struggle. It was God that saved Henry. That is the factor of it that we just have to thank God for. Let us parents be careful. Let us be careful with the life and the destiny of our children. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Again, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Forward this video to your friends. You will be encouraging somebody. You don't know what God can do in somebody's life. Send us your comments and be a part of what God is doing. Thank you very much.